Hello everyone, my name is Appiah, and for today I have a 5 to 10 minutes short video to talk about cybersecurity. What are some of my day-to-day activities that I do at my current job? How does computer science impacts what I do at work? What are some of the advances that one person can achieve or attain in cybersecurity? And what is some of the recommendations that I can basically share with you guys as you prepare for college and your career as a whole? So let me start it this way. My day to day is always different depending on what day it is. There's no day that I go to work that I would say everything is always the same way. For the most part, I lead or I'm in charge of every firewall request that comes into the company. So I review that request to make sure that, one, are they providing the right information? Two, are we making sure that from a network security standpoint, we are not allowing ourselves for some type of adversary to, infiltrate and exfiltrate our environment. Besides that, I'm also in charge of reviewing all our vulnerability platform, i.e. this includes our intrusion prevention system, our intrusion detection system. We also have something we call DNS security, not also forgetting URL filtering, which I believe when you guys actually start working in the field, you will get familiarized with. I mean, computer is everything now. Everywhere you turn, your mobile phones, your TV, everything now streams. So this has basically given us an opportunity, one, to have a job, because security is always going to be there because of all these IoT systems and everything that is internet connected, right? Most of all these things that is out here has some type of vulnerability. And how do you protect this vulnerability, right? By having these security tools and by having these things we have in place to basically make sure that even though we cannot provide 100% secured environment, we have a defense in layer kind of approach in place to protect that company and to protect yourself as well. So how tying everything back to the question is how has computer science, impacted our work? I mean, it's given us a lot of work, so at least there's guarantee that you're always gonna have a job in this field because everything that is coming out would have some type of internet facing capability, right? You can start from an entry level position and go as high as being the chief information security officer or being the CIO or being the CTO and being a VP within that environment. So it's entirely up to the person where you see yourself and what you really want to do. Some people really like the hands-on portion of it. Some people really prefer the hands-off. The good thing about my job and my role is kind of in between. Most of what you do on a day-to-day is recommendation, understanding what security is all about, and putting in recommendations to the other teams that really need to get the work done. So if you're someone that really likes a hands-on kind of, hey, I really want to do X, Y, and Z, this role doesn't really give you that. It gives you some hands-on functionality, but heavily more based on a hands-off approach. What I did is I actually gained my associate and then moved on to my bachelor's, i.e., I looked at it as in a process of, if I went to a 4-year college, I'd have to finish the 4 years before I get my bachelor's degree. But the other route which I went was, all right, if going to get my associate and my bachelor's would also take me 4 years, at least in the first 2 years, I would have my associate, and then when I'm done with the other two, I have my bachelor's, now giving me two degrees versus just one. So none of these approaches is wrong. It's entirely up to the individual. But also the school you go to. Every school has a different curriculum that you have to follow, and to get to what you want to become in the future. Besides that, there's a ton of certifications out there that you guys can also kind of study on the side. I did a lot of self-taught where I actually taught myself some of the technologies, because in school you get more on the theory side of things. Some schools have incorporated some hands-on in your cybersecurity experience, but it's not as much as what you would get if you actually labbed something you were studying and kind of went through the whole process to see the outcome, versus just reading it, right? So you can start from the basic, go through CompTIA, get your CompTIA A+, then move on to the network class that they have, so you can have some foundational networking kind of background, and then from there you can jump into CompTIA security, which kind of gives you like a big overarching security conversation on every vendor out there, right? So it's not specific to one vendor, but it's more vendor neutral. So I think that is a good one to basically pursue as well. Then from there, depending on how you feel and which path you want to go in IT, the opportunities is endless. So on that note, I say good luck to everyone, and keep studying. All right, bye-bye. Have a good one.